you would like to serve something special as well. Well, how about cupcakes?
Cupcakes are the best.
There's something really special happening in Hope Valley, and fans of When Calls the Heart are definitely in for a treat when season 13 rolls around. Executive producer Brian Bird recently jumped on the official Hardee's podcast and made an exciting announcement. Joy Gregory, who was both a writer and executive producer during season 12, is officially stepping up as the new showrunner for season 13. So let's dive into everything we know about it. To our knowledge, Brian couldn't stop singing her praises, and honestly, it's easy to see why. I'm pleased to be on this Zoom with Joy Gregory, our fantastic season 12 writer and executive producer, he said during the podcast. She is joining us again for season 13 as our showrunner. We're so thrilled. Joy did such an amazing job this year on the show. Her first year on the show, but she just got it so quickly. Picked up the world, picked up the values, picked up the vibes. You could tell he meant every word of it, and it's always encouraging when someone so deeply connected to the heart of the show, no pun intended, is the one taking the reins. There's something refreshing about seeing talent recognized in such an open and genuine way. And Joy? She's just as thrilled. She confirmed the news right there on the podcast and shared how honored she feels about taking on the responsibility. I feel really honored to be trusted with carrying this ship forward, she said. I'm deeply inspired by the fan engagement on the show. It's like nothing I've experienced in 25 seasons of TV that I've written and produced. That's pretty huge coming from someone with that much experience in the industry, and it really speaks to how When Calls the Heart has created something deeper than your typical television drama. It's a show with a heartbeat, one that reflects love, growth, family, and all those tender moments in between. Joy went on to explain why the show feels so special to her. I love small moments between people, she said. I love to watch flawed people try to love each other as best they can in difficult circumstances. And I've been on quite a few shows that didn't have much patience with that. But finally, I get to indulge my love of people just loving each other as best they can. And that's honestly such a great fit for When Calls the Heart, because that's exactly what the show is all about. It's not flashy, it's not all drama and twists just for the sake of it. It's about human connection, relationships, and finding hope, even when life gets complicated. Plus, Joy's promotion also came with a generous handoff from Lindsay Sturman, who was the showrunner from seasons 10 through 12. According to Joy, Lindsay was incredibly kind and supportive when it was time to pass the baton. She agreed to be co-showrunner with me for the last few episodes, Joy explained. She just reached out to me and said, let's think of ourselves this way. I can't imagine a more supportive transition to taking over a show that many others before me have built with love and care. Now that's the kind of behind-the-scenes teamwork we love to hear about. Joy even described Lindsay's leadership as being filled with tremendous humor and grace and generosity. It's clear that this wasn't just a cold corporate swap, it was a thoughtful, collaborative effort. And that's the kind of energy that often translates beautifully on screen. Of course, fans who have been watching since earlier seasons know that Lindsay herself has stepped into big shoes when she took over from John Tinker in season 10. He was the showrunner during that intense love triangle involving Elizabeth, Lucas, and Nathan, and ultimately the one who oversaw Elizabeth choosing Lucas back in season 8. But when Lindsay came on board, she shifted the storyline in a way that had people talking. By the season 10 finale, Elizabeth had broken up with Lucas and was starting to rekindle her connection with Nathan. Lindsay opened up about this shift in a previous interview on the Edify After Show podcast. She explained that Lucas and Elizabeth were simply on different paths. They were on different journeys. Elizabeth and Lucas had different destinies. And how do we follow those? She said. She also described their breakup as something that, while heartbreaking, felt authentic. It sort of revealed itself to be a Casablanca story, she added, painting a picture of two characters who cared about each other but ultimately had to go their separate ways. That decision definitely stirred up conversation among fans. Some were heartbroken, others relieved, but it opened the door for Elizabeth and Nathan to reconnect in a meaningful way. And that storyline continued to evolve in the season 12 finale in a big, emotional way. In that finale, Elizabeth and her son Little Jack were preparing to leave Hope Valley and move to Cape Fullerton in search of better care for Jack's diabetes. It was a major emotional moment, one that had fans wondering what would come next. But just as she was about to say goodbye to Hope Valley for good, Nathan and his daughter Allie showed up with a surprise of their own. They weren't letting Elizabeth go that easily. They were coming too. "Family sticks together, right?" Allie tells Elizabeth as she and Nathan join them in the taxi. And then comes the line that had everyone's hearts bursting. When Elizabeth questions how Nathan can leave everything behind, he simply tells her, "We'll figure it out. Together. Where you go, I go." It's hard not to smile at that. After all the back and forth, the ups and downs, Elizabeth and Nathan finally seem to be moving forward as a unit. There's something really satisfying about seeing them choose each other like that. It's a payoff that's been years in the making. And while the future of the cast is still a little up in the air, Hallmark hasn't confirmed who's definitely returning for season 13, we've got some solid clues. Erin Krakow, who has played Elizabeth since the very beginning, gave a pretty big hint on Instagram after the finale aired. "ICYMI, WCTH-TV is a teenager," she wrote, celebrating the show's renewal for its 13th season. Then there was Kevin McGarry, who plays Nathan. He jumped into the comments on Erin's post with his usual cheeky sense of humor, writing, "No one told me about this," which definitely felt like a playful way of confirming his return. And it wasn't just Elizabeth and Nathan getting send-offs or new chapters. Angela Canfield, daughter of Minnie and Joseph, also seemed to be preparing for her next adventure. She graduated from secondary school and was heading off to college, which definitely seemed like her character's farewell, at least for now. The goodbye between Angela and Allie was sweet and heartfelt, especially when they promised to keep in touch, with Angela promising to write once a day. Moments like these are what makes When Calls the Heart so beloved. Sure, it's a period drama with plenty of romance and intrigue, but it's also a story about growing up, moving on, and doing your best to stay connected, even when life pulls people in different directions. All of that is going to shape a season that stays true to the show's roots while exploring new ground. And let's be honest, there's something pretty heartwarming about that. Whether you've been watching since season 1 or you're just catching up, it's comforting to know that Hope Valley is still in good hands. And that's a wrap for today's video. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you in the next one.